This is Kathy Biehl of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro-Insight for the week of October 2nd, 2023. We are in for a highly active week, kicking off appropriately a highly active month. The action involves thoughts and conversations and our information flow. It involves relationships and how we get along. And it involves how we push ourselves forward out into the world. The three inner planets, which rule everything I've just been talking about, are intricate gears this month, working in tandem, clicking, and each helping the other move things along, even as they change the signs that they're in as we go through the month. The beginning of the week gives us a long-distance view of ways we have been lied to, ways we've been lying to ourselves, situations where we've been making excuses for other people or buying into their gaslighting. You may have some conversations, you may have email exchanges that leave you wondering who in this picture is crazy and deciding that it's probably not you, as Mercury opposes Neptune on the 2nd. And then the next day, on the 3rd, Mercury engages in the scheduled, predictable behavior that every planet is undergoing this month and next. And that is, as the planet heads out of the sign that it's been in, it has a link with Pluto near the end of Capricorn, with Pluto, the destroyer, the lord of death and rebirth, the keeper of secrets and treasure and deep, scary things that we maybe don't want to deal with on a normal basis. Mercury trines Pluto on the 3rd. This is an easy and kind of an unavoidable flow. Perfect for hard conversations going much more easily than you might have thought. Perfect for confrontations that actually get to the bottom of things. Perfect for getting very clear in your own mind about what is most important to you. Cutting to the chase, getting down to brass tacks, whatever cliche you want to use for this. It is possible that the vision, the observations that you have the day before when Mercury is staring down the cosmic fog machine play into what gets deeper and more intense and what you possibly cut out of your information stream. This trine is really suited for dropping a bunch of subscriptions, for blocking people, for getting away from certain conversations or lines of conversation or thought, just getting them out of your field. Some tweaking of your own personal relationships comes with this because Venus, goddess of love, the social director of the skies, is making an adjustment aspect at the same time with Neptune, cosmic fog machine, but also her higher counterpart in love. Maybe you let someone off the hook. Maybe you see why somebody is behaving the way they have been. Maybe you find compassion. Maybe you decide, well, that's nice. That's your problem, not mine. I don't want this in my field. Adios, amigo. Seeing the picture here. And then the focus on details, the general fuss budget tendencies, abate briefly. They'll come back next week when Mercury leaves Fix-It Virgo and enters Venus's home of Libra. Mercury in Libra is greeting card season. It's using words with the goal to winning somebody over. Maybe manipulating, maybe simply being very canny about how you're going to communicate. There's an interest in playing nice. There's an interest in at least the appearance of playing nice, of talking things over, of negotiating, of mediating, of finding common ground, and maybe of writing about it. Libra really does like words, writing about it, painting about it, doing interpretive dance very gracefully. This wouldn't be weirdo dance. And Mercury stays in this mode through the 22nd. And the first thing he does once he gets into Libra is make an adjustment aspect with Saturn in Pisces. This results in finding ways to speak to authority, shifting the way you're presenting something to win over authority, changing something because of an obstacle or an impediment, going back for a second discussion and not taking no for an answer, but being ever so polite about it. And while Mercury is in this let's negotiate a compromise, each side needs to give a little mode, the other inner planets have the same kinds of links, the same kinds of contacts that he had earlier in the week. Mars, our motivation, ruler of our drive, how we push ourselves forward, also men and the masculine, makes an adjustment aspect to Neptune, cosmic fog machine, planet of unconditional love and compassion. Mars is in Libra, the sign of agreements and social justice, and also the courts. Watch for compromises or changes in position on some legislative matters and in the various strikes, particularly the actors. Watch for tweaking in prosecutions or course corrections in litigation involving lying, fraud, and deceit. And however that might be playing out in your own life, very possibly, much as there was a tweaking involving Venus, you might find your approach to a relationship changing, tweaking, adjusting, adapting because of compassion and understanding. And then our relationships and our drive both rev up to change the mode, to change the way that they are playing out. And in that revving up, each of Venus and Mars has its meeting with Pluto this week. On the 6th, Venus makes an adjustment aspect to Pluto, who is her higher counterpart in money and desire, more of the huge, hidden, and obsessive expressions of those. This is addiction kicking. This is deciding between two attractions. This is adjusting because of a triangulation coming to light or hitting a point where things cannot go on as they have. And while we're all in some way dealing with desire and tractor beam level cellular feral attractions, we're also, over the weekend, finding ourselves hitting limits, finding ourselves wanting so much and recognizing that you can't have it all. I think of a statement by the comic Stephen Wright, you can't have everything, where would you put it? The Sun makes an inconjunct to Jupiter on the 7th, and don't be surprised if you decide that something you already have is enough, that you don't need more of whatever this is. And the week ends with huge, dramatic action, with relationship demands for inevitable, permanent change, something that has been building and brewing that cannot continue as it has been, having a gigantic shove, a gigantic cosmic push come at it and force the dominoes to fall, force a situation to rearrange, force a situation to die, possibly. Mars, the god of war in Libra, is making a square to Pluto, the lord of death, in Capricorn. There will likely be something going on in political news, in governmental news that plays this out, a legislative push that forces a change, something in the courts that forces a change. This is not limited to the country where I am recording this, the United States. This is a universal influence. It has a strong sense of inevitability. Something about this is the final cleanup move in a process that's been going on since January of 2008. This is the last time that Mars will square Pluto in Capricorn in our lifetimes. Whatever this is in your own life, in your own family, in your own foundations, has been a long time coming. And all of this, all of the activity this week is the build-up to the lead-in to the Libra new moon solar eclipse waiting for us next week. Homing thought of the week. I see what you did there. Song of the week. It's really old. Little Bit Me, Little Bit You by the Monkees, sung by a Capricorn. And the image of the week is bowling a strike. You'll learn more about this in my talk, Out of My Way, the Aries Libra eclipses of 2023 to 2025, and my forecast for the month of October, which is up at my site, empowermentunlimited.net, where you can sign up for my mailing list and book a session with me. I'm Kathy Biehl, a professional astrologer with more than 30 years' experience. I host the show Celestial Compass on Om Times Radio on the first and third Monday of every month at 5 p.m. Eastern. This week, my guest is Lisa Greenfield, who is a master of hands, melding hands and the stars, and a little tarot, too. There's a lot of fire between us, so I expect a fun conversation. I also host lively conversation on Facebook at Empowerment Unlimited and the group, the Astro-Insight Lounge. I have lots of bonus content at patreon.com/Kathy Biehl, where my Libra solar eclipse article will be up early in the week. And I'm really grateful to the people who support my work there. I post on Instagram and Threads at K.A. Biehl and on YouTube at the Professional Aquarian channel. Talk to you next week.